My name is Emma, and I'm a 20-year-old university student living in New York. My family has gone through a lot of changes. My parents got divorced when I was 14, and since then, I've lived with my mom. Things got even harder last year when my dad, who I was very close to, passed away from cancer. He left me a lot of money in his will, but I could only get it when I turned 20. This year, I finally reached that age, and then something surprising happened. One afternoon, my stepdad Justin, who is in his mid-30s and has been married to my mom for the last 6 years, asked to talk to me. Our relationship has always been a bit tense. I try to keep things peaceful, but he's not always been nice to me. He started the conversation with a serious topic. He suggested that I give the money my dad left me to my stepbrother Michael to help with his college expenses. According to Justin, Michael needed the money more for his education, and he thought it was only fair that I help out. I was shocked by his request. The idea of giving away the money my dad left for me felt wrong. I tried to explain to Justin that this inheritance was something my dad wanted me to have for my future, but Justin didn't agree. He insisted that I didn't need the money and that Michael's needs were more important. Despite his pressure, I stood my ground. I calmly explained to Justin that my decision wasn't about disrespect. It was about honoring my dad's wishes and keeping my personal boundaries. Justin got very upset and tried to intimidate me, but I remained firm in my decision. It was a tough conversation, but it was important for me to stand up for what I felt was right. I told him clearly that if he was upset by my refusal, he might want to rethink his approach. Justin, remember you're part of this household too, so let's try to keep things respectful, I suggested, but it didn't seem like we would reach a peaceful resolution. I ended the conversation and left before he could respond. Justin's reaction didn't surprise me given his past behavior. I had a feeling he might try to get the inheritance money for himself at some point. You might wonder about my mom's role in all of this. Well, that's complicated. My mom, for reasons I don't fully understand, always overlooks Justin's bad traits. She's deeply in love with him, almost to the point of being blind to his flaws. And I didn't want to ruin her happiness by constantly clashing with Justin. So I've tried to keep the peace for her sake. It's odd that even though I'm one of the youngest in the house, I often have to be the most responsible. At the time of this ordeal, my mom, Mary, was out of town, which is why she wasn't around to intervene. Had she been there, she would have been furious. Justin knew he had a window of opportunity with her away, underestimating my resolve in the process. As I walked away from our heated discussion, Justin followed, berating me and calling me a terrible sister for not wanting to give the inheritance to Michael. But it wasn't about not wanting to help, it was about the principle. Justin and Michael unfortunately seemed to follow the like father, like some trope, acting more like schemers from a cartoon than family members. Their antics reminded me of the characters Pinky and the Brain, with their roles in this scenario up for debate. As I tried to leave the argument behind, Justin wasn't done. He insisted I listen and comply with his demands, bringing Michael into the conversation to reinforce his point. Michael sleepily joined in, confused about the details until Justin prompted him about the supposed important reason behind their demand for the money, a supposed business venture that suddenly became about Michael's university tuition. Their story was inconsistent, with Justin scrambling to justify their claim to my inheritance, first mentioning a business, then switching to tuition. It was clear their motives were murky at best, relying on manipulation rather than any real need or right to the money my dad left me. I just woke up, so I'm a bit foggy, Michael mumbled, trying to piece together his story. Right, the university. I've been thinking about going, and I need the money for that, so yeah, I need it. His attempt to claim the inheritance for his education wasn't very convincing. I couldn't help but firmly say no, which sparked protests from both him and Justin. Why not, Emma? He's clear about what he wants, Justin pressed, insisting that they deserve the money. We'll just have to see about that, I replied, feeling the tension in the air. Justin's usual antics were harmless, but this new scheme to manipulate me out of my inheritance showed a selfish and immature side of him. I decided not to tell my mom right away, wanting to deal with the situation myself, especially after learning more about their questionable intentions. Emma, stop being childish. It's time to act like an adult and do what's right. Justin lectured, suggesting that giving away my inheritance was the mature thing to do. His reasoning didn't make much sense to me. And what, Justin? The right thing is to give away my inheritance just because you say so, I argued. His insistence on keeping this from my mom made me even more suspicious. Why shouldn't I tell her? She deserves to know what's going on in her own house. Justin's urgency to keep my mom out of it, along with his unusually stern attitude, made me even more determined. Something wasn't adding up, especially with the supposed business venture Michael mentioned earlier. It was clear they underestimated my awareness of their tactics, and Justin's resistance to involving my mom raised a big red flag. At the first chance I got, I decided to talk to my mom. "Hey Mom, how's everything going?" I started, trying to gauge her mood. "I'm doing okay, dear. What about you?" she replied. I hesitated, knowing what I was about to say might cause some trouble. "Not so good, Mom. There's something going on with Justin and Michael. Justin especially. He's been acting really weird." My mom tried to calm me down, telling me not to worry too much. "Oh, Emma, don't let your mind run wild." But it was too late to stop my suspicions. Everything seemed to point to something more than just a misunderstanding or me being paranoid. Even though my mom was hesitant to believe anything bad about Justin, I kept going, determined to make her see what was really going on. "Mom, I understand you have feelings for him, but Justin went too far. He didn't just ask for the inheritance money. He demanded it for Michael, saying it was for education. There's something not right about all this, and he even got aggressive when I mentioned telling you." I explained, my determination growing despite her doubts. My mom hesitated, torn between her emotions and the troubling accusations against the man she cared about. "I'm having a hard time believing this, Emma. I think we need more proof to understand what's going on." "Don't worry, Mom. I'll find the evidence we need," I reassured her. Even though she wasn't fully convinced, I couldn't shake the feeling that Justin had somehow manipulated her. But I knew I needed solid proof to expose his true intentions. That night, I searched the family computer for any clues about Justin's behavior. Luck was on my side when I found his email account open. What I discovered was shocking. Emails between Justin and a woman named Martha revealed a web of deceit. These messages hinted strongly at an affair. But what caught my attention was their discussions about plans for divorce and a future together, fueled by money from a shady business venture. While Justin was careful not to mention anything illegal, his betrayal was clear. Armed with this information and determined to learn more, I decided to talk to Michael, hoping he might accidentally reveal more about their plans. I started a casual conversation with him, secretly recording our exchange on my phone. "Hey Michael," I greeted him, pretending to be cheerful. "Hi, Emma," he replied, sounding happy. "You seem in a good mood today." "Why not?" "It's a beautiful day," I said, steering the conversation to find out more about Justin's plans and how they were affecting my family. I approached Michael with curiosity, pretending to consider the request for the inheritance money. "I've been thinking about what you and Justin said. I'm actually thinking about giving you the money for your college," I told him, watching his reaction carefully. "Really? That's great. I'll tell him right away," Michael said, sounding excited. "Wait, not so fast. Before we do anything, I need to be sure of something. This money is strictly for your college fees, right?" I asked, trying to see if he was being honest. "Yes, definitely for my college tuition." Michael stuttered a bit, sounding a bit unsure. "And you're certain about that? What about Martha? Is she involved in this too?" I pressed, mentioning the name I had found in Justin's emails. "Martha? Who's Martha?" Michael stumbled, confusion evident on his face. "Oh, she's a student advisor at the college," he quickly improvised, but it didn't quite ring true. Unbeknownst to us, Justin had entered the room silently, his presence intimidating. "I don't appreciate you interrogating my son like this," he interjected, his tone stern. "I was just asking about where the money is going. If I'm considering giving it away, I want to make sure it's being used properly," I explained, trying to stay calm. Justin's response was sharp. "Once you give money away, it's no longer your concern. It's not up to you anymore." The audacity of his statement stunned me, especially when he followed it up with a threat. "You're not just thinking about giving us the money, you will give it to us, or you'll find yourself out of this house." Michael looked just as shocked as I felt by his father's sudden escalation. "Dad, this isn't what we talked about," he started, but Justin cut him off, asserting his authority and threatening to kick me out if I didn't do as he said. I chose to stay silent, retreating to my room while recording the entire confrontation. Justin had no idea that his true colors were being recorded. Once I was safe in my room, I gathered all the evidence I had against him. It felt like I was a detective in one of those crime shows, piecing together the puzzle. I had audio recordings and email screenshots, all pointing to Justin's deceitful behavior and his affair with Martha. Feeling the weight of my findings, I knew it was time to involve my mom. "Mom, are you sitting down? I have something important to tell you, and it's not easy," I said, preparing her for what I was about to reveal. Breaking the news to my mom was difficult. I started by telling her about the unsettling discoveries I had made. At first, she found it hard to believe, but when I played the audio recording of my conversation with Justin, her denial started to fade, replaced by a mix of shock and heartbreak. "Why would he do such things? Why be so cruel?" she asked, her voice breaking with every word. "It's difficult to accept, but we're dealing with someone who doesn't have our best interests at heart," I replied gently, trying to offer support despite the harsh truth. "I hate to say it, but he's not the person we thought he was." Hearing the truth from the recording was a turning point for my mom. "This is unacceptable. I can't believe I wasn't here to protect you from them," she said, her initial shock turning into determination. "Stay where you are. I'm coming back right away. And yes, I've locked my door," I reassured her. My mom's protective instincts kicked in. She was ready to confront Justin and make sure he regretted his actions. "He's going to realize he made a big mistake messing with our family," she said, her voice filled with determination. When she arrived, it was a moment of mixed emotions. We hugged tightly, sharing tears over the betrayal and the tough decisions ahead. But there was also a sense of relief and unity. Together, we spent hours planning, ready to face the situation as a team. In the days that followed, Justin was puzzled by my mom's sudden return and her cold attitude towards him. He tried to act cheerful, probably hoping to charm his way out of any trouble. But my mom saw right through him. She wasn't swayed by his act and was preparing to take action. Concerned about the true nature of Justin's business and the potential misuse of the inheritance, my mom decided to bring in professional help. She hired a private investigator to dig deeper into Justin's activities and the mysterious emails. The thought of him planning to misuse the money for unethical purposes made her furious, and she was determined to protect us from his deceit. The private investigator's findings confirmed our worst fears and shed new light on Justin's schemes. My mom filled me in on the details, and together we prepared for the next steps. It was clear that this was more than just a family dispute. It was about standing up against manipulation and ensuring justice was served. The atmosphere in the room was tense, a mix of disbelief and determination hanging between us. Justin's usual confidence seemed to waver under the weight of our accusations, his eyes darting around as if searching for a way out of our confrontation. "You don't know what you're talking about. This is absurd," Justin tried to deflect, but his voice lacked its usual assertiveness. It was evident that the tables had turned and the power he once held was slipping away. Caught in the middle of this familial turmoil, Michael looked from his father to us, his expression a mix of confusion and realization. Perhaps for the first time, he began to see his father for who he truly was, a revelation that seemed to shake him to his core. My mom, with a determined look fixed on Justin, stepped forward. "Not only do we understand, but we have proof. Emails, recordings. You've been planning to launder money through a laundromat, and you've involved yourself with a known criminal. Martha's record speaks volumes, and your plans for this business are crystal clear." Justin's attempts to maintain innocence were crumbling fast. "You have no idea what you're getting into. This is my business, my life. You can't just barge in and." "But we can and we are," I interjected, supporting my mom's stance. "This isn't just about your business, Justin. This is about our lives, our safety. You've brought danger and illegality into our home, and we won't stand by and watch you destroy everything for your own selfish gains." The evidence was undeniable. The audio recordings of Justin's and Michael's conversations, the emails outlining their plans, and now their own admissions made it impossible for Justin to deny any longer. The camera in my hands, still rolling, captured every word, ensuring there was no way out for him. "You think you're clever, recording this, gathering evidence," Justin sneered, his composure cracking further. "You may think you've won, but—" "We don't think we've won, Justin. We know we have." My mom cut him off, her voice strong and unwavering. "What you've done is not only morally wrong but also illegal. You've endangered this family, exploited my trust, and now you're going to face the consequences." As the confrontation reached its peak, Michael finally spoke up, his voice barely above a whisper. "Dad, how could you?" It was a question heavy with betrayal and disillusionment, aimed at the man he had once looked up to. The room fell silent, the weight of the situation settling in. Justin, stripped of his usual confidence, seemed to shrink before us. It was clear the charade was over. My mom's next steps were evident: legal action, separation, and ensuring the safety and security of our family. As we left Justin to grapple with the consequences of his actions, my mom and I knew the road ahead would be tough. But armed with the truth and evidence, we were ready to face whatever came next together. The veil of deceit had been lifted, revealing a newfound strength and unity between us, ready to rebuild and move forward. "I don't know what you're implying. Why don't we call Martha? Maybe she can clarify things." Justin attempted to deflect, his panic thinly veiled. "You think you have it all figured out. Martha is just a friend," he added. But his confidence was rapidly fading. "The compromising picture we found tells a different story," I countered, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside me. "And seriously, who uses email for affairs these days? It's incredibly reckless." Justin, visibly flustered, retorted, "You went through my personal stuff? That's outrageous." "No, Justin, what's outrageous is you," my mom interjected, her voice filled with indignation. "How dare you threaten my daughter over money that rightfully belongs to her? How dare you try to evict her from her own home? Your actions are indefensible. How dare you involve your son in your reckless plans, putting him at risk? And your audacity to plan illegal ventures with that money is unforgivable. Now, when it's time to face the consequences, you suddenly fall silent." She continued, her words sharp and slicing through the tension in the air. Justin, feeling cornered and desperate, snapped, "Get that camera out of my face." As he lunged towards me in a blind rage, I swiftly dodged his attempt, his aggression only emphasizing the seriousness of his unraveling. "Are you really about to attack my daughter? Do you understand the trouble you're in?" my mom exclaimed, her voice a mix of shock and fury. Justin, defiant until the end, sneered, "You think you know what's going on? You know nothing." "Well, let's see if the police agree with you. They should be here any minute now," I declared, watching closely for his reaction. "Police? You wouldn't dare," he blustered, but his confidence faltered as the sound of police sirens grew closer. Justin's usual arrogance faded, replaced by pure terror. It was the first time I'd seen him stripped of his bravado, revealing the coward underneath. "Please, Mary, let's not make this worse. I can explain," he pleaded, his voice cracking under the pressure. "Save your explanations for the judge, you disgraceful man," my mom retorted with a disgust that left no room for doubt. "And Michael, don't think you're off the hook. You'll face the consequences too." As the police arrived, it was evident that this marked the beginning of the end for Justin's schemes. My mom's powerful statement reverberated in the air, signaling a crucial moment of justice for us. "This should be a lesson to you about disrespecting my daughter and me. You're old enough to know right from wrong, and it's time for you to face the consequences." "Yes, Mom, I understand," Michael replied, acknowledging that he had crossed the line and needed to accept the consequences. "Come on, Grace, isn't this a bit extreme?" Justin attempted to argue, hoping for leniency. "On the contrary, this is just the beginning of what's deserved," my mom countered, her determination unwavering. "Emma, how's our live stream going?" she asked, adding a modern twist to ensure that justice was visible to all. "We have over 5,000 viewers tuning in. This is making an impact," I informed her, amazed at the digital audience we had attracted. And just to be perfectly clear, my mom addressed Justin directly, her voice firm and steady. "I want a divorce." "Yes, you heard it right," she declared, ensuring the live stream captured every word. The fallout from the live stream was immense. The drama unfolded in real time for over 5,000 witnesses, and the story quickly spread to local newspapers and tabloids. Being at the center of this whirlwind was surreal, witnessing the swift downfall of Justin, my soon-to-be ex-stepfather, and the complicit Michael. The satisfaction of seeing justice served was palpable. Justin's world crumbled as he lost his job, friends, and even the support of some family members who chose to distance themselves. Facing serious charges, His future hung in the balance, with the possibility of spending up to 20 years behind bars if found guilty. Meanwhile, Martha, his partner in crime, was also discovered by the police, facing similar charges and an uncertain future. Throughout the turmoil, my mom and I found strength in each other. Our bond deepened as we navigated through the chaos, emerging stronger on the other side. Weekends became our time to relax on the patio, drinks in hand, reflecting on the absurdity and cruelty of Justin's actions. It was a period of healing and reaffirmation for both of us. Good riddance, we toasted, sharing a sense of relief and closure. Good riddance indeed.